Have you ever stopped to think about this? We have two lungs, two kidneys, two eyes. We've got backups for so many of our vital parts. So here's a question that sounds simple but has a pretty wild answer. Why do we only have one heart?
I mean, it seems like a huge design flaw, doesn't it? If one of your kidneys starts to fail, the other one can totally pick up the slack. A spare seems like the ultimate insurance policy. So why in the world didn't evolution give us a backup for the single most critical organ in our entire body?
While the answer is hidden in the way our bodies are wired. You see, not all our organs are built the same way. There's a really fundamental difference in their design, and it all comes down to this one concept: parallel versus serial systems. Think of it this way. Your kidneys and lungs are parallel organs. They're like a team, they share the workload, and if one of them gets into trouble, the other can step up. That's called redundancy, and it's all about safety. But the heart is a serial system. It's the central pump, it's a single point of control, and everything depends on it working in one perfectly timed sequence. So for a serial system, like our circulatory system, adding a second heart isn't a safety net, it's a catastrophic liability. Having two of them wouldn't make you twice as safe. It would create a system that is almost guaranteed to fail. Okay, so let's run a little thought experiment. Just imagine our bodies actually did have two hearts. What would happen? Well, it wouldn't be pretty. We would immediately run into a whole series of disaster-level problems. This analogy just nails it. It perfectly captures the first and biggest disaster: rhythmic conflict. A dance floor with two different beats is just chaos, right? Well, inside your body, it's so much worse. You see, each heart has its own natural pacemaker, its own little internal drummer setting the beats. With two hearts, you'd have two drummers, and they wouldn't be listening to each other. They'd be in a constant power struggle, fighting for control, falling in and out of sync. Who leads? The faster one? The slower one? The body would have no idea. And the consequences of this battle of the bands inside your chest? Absolutely devastating. Blood would get pushed forward by one heart only to slam into resistance from the other, causing backflow and turbulence. That chaotic flow is the perfect environment for forming dangerous blood clots, and the end result? Total, inevitable heart failure. And that's just problem number one. Next, you've got pressure chaos. If both hearts just happen to beat at the exact same time, the pressure spike could literally rupture your arteries. But if they beat out of sync, they could cancel each other out, causing your blood pressure to just plummet, starving your brain of oxygen. It is a complete lose-lose situation. And finally, the entire control network of your body would just collapse. Your nervous system, your hormones, they're all designed to regulate one central pump. With two, they'd be getting conflicting signals, creating a feedback loop. It's just like that high-pitched shriek you get when a microphone gets too close to a speaker. That's what would be happening inside your body's control system. Okay, so two active hearts is a terrible idea. I get it. But what about having one as a cold spare? A backup that only kicks in when the first one fails. It sounds pretty smart from an engineering standpoint, but biologically, it's a total non-starter. There are three huge reasons this wouldn't work. First, muscle atrophy. A heart that isn't pumping just wastes away. It's a muscle, so your dormant backup would be weak and useless right when you need it most. Second, you can't just instantly switch from one heart to the other. There's no hot swapping in our bodies. Even a 5-second pause in blood flow to the brain causes irreversible damage. And finally, evolution tends to take the simplest, most efficient path. It's just so much smarter to perfect one super reliable pump than it is to design a really complex and risky backup system. Now, just when you think the one-heart rule is absolute, nature, as always, throws us a curveball. It turns out there is an animal that has more than one heart, but not in the way you'd think. What if I told you an animal exists with this many hearts? Yep, 3. The octopus is the master of multiple hearts. But how does it avoid that whole coordination nightmare we just talked about? Well, the secret is specialization. This is how the octopus pulls it off. Its hearts aren't redundant backups fighting for control. They have completely separate jobs. 2 of the smaller hearts are dedicated just to pumping blood through the gills. Then the third, bigger heart, takes all that oxygenated blood and circulates it to the rest of the body. It's not about having a spare, it's a clever division of labor. So this brings us all the way back to our own biology. The fact that we only have one heart isn't a flaw at all. It's actually a sign of an incredibly elegant and optimized design. It really all comes down to this one simple truth. More isn't always better. For a synchronized, high-pressure system like ours, adding a second command center doesn't create a backup. It creates a fatal conflict. Ultimately, evolution's winning strategy was to invest everything into making a single heart as robust and reliable as possible, and then support it with a sophisticated control system that's been fine-tuned over millions of years. This whole design completely avoids the unwinnable power struggle that two hearts would create. It's really a testament to the idea that sometimes the most complex problems have the simplest, most elegant solutions. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other seemingly simple features of our own bodies are hiding a deeply complex and fascinating reason for being?